Hi guys, this is New Sensei. For many people starting archery, buying their first bow is very exciting and actually quite easy. All you need is a basic wooden recurve like this. They cost less than $200 and they're really easy to use. Now, if you've been shopping online, you notice that there are lots of these. We've already been through the Samick Sage and the Samick Polaris, and many of them are actually rebranded Samicks. Some, however, are actually different designs. And today we're going through another alternative to the entry-level recurve, the PSE Razorback. Because we use these bows at the club for the beginners, both old and young, we actually have two different models. We have the PSE Razorback and the PSE Razorback Jr. And it's quite important to talk about the differences between the adult models and the junior models. As you probably expect by now, the PSE Razorback is a plain, simple and minimalistic wooden recurve bow. Normally the design and pattern on the wood is appealing in itself, but the Razorback just has natural grains and little else. This doesn't mean that it's a bad bow, but if you're a buyer who goes for visual appeal, this one is not exactly a luxury model. As a takedown bow, it can be broken down into three pieces. The limbs are secured by a limb bolt, and it's worth noting that the screw and pocket are plastic, unlike the Samick bows, which have metal limb pockets. Another curiosity about the limb bolts is that they have a bushing, which I guess could be used for weight or even mini stabilizers. Aside from that, the riser is tapped with the standard bushings for mounting sights, a push and rest or plunger, and a stabilizer below the grip. These bows can be set up to be shot off a rest or off the shelf. While functionally identical, one subtle difference between the beginner bows is their grip. The Razorback has a nice pistol-shaped grip and the hand naturally slides along the contours. The fingers can be allowed to rest gently on the front of the bow. The grip doesn't feel large or chunky. However, there's something about the inside of the grip that doesn't feel quite right. My index finger feels like it's placed over a ridge rather than on a smooth surface. It might just be me, but the grip feels 1% off. The limbs are made from maple wood and fiberglass. You can see the branding on the front of the limbs with nothing on the back. As with many beginner bows, the limbs are white and the fiberglass layer gives the limbs a nice gloss and smoothness. The Razorback Jr model has some differences. Compared to the full-size 62-inch bow, which has a maximum draw weight of 35 pounds, the Junior model is 54 inches with a maximum weight of 25 pounds. But that's not the only difference. The Junior model is substantially smaller in width, including the grip, making it more lightweight and a better fit for a child. Because of this difference in width, the limbs are not interchangeable between the two models. The Junior model has the same bushings for the sight and stabilizer, but the limb bolts lack that bushing. Let's do some shooting. First we'll start with the Junior model. Note that the string on these bows are not the original strings. These are Dacron pink strings that I made as part of a breast cancer research fundraiser. The draw weight of this bow is 15 pounds, and the arrows I'm using are Beam & Flash 1400s. We find these arrows to come out very nicely from 12 to 15 pound junior bows, and they're very cheap and expendable. Now for the adult bow. This one is 20 pounds, which we use with Eastern Apollo 840s. While we have other bows at the club, the Razorbacks are our main bow. We give the 20 pounds to most adult learners and the 15 pound bows to learners who aren't confident in controlling that weight. You may have noticed that there's quite a bit of vibration in the bow. It's like you're playing a very strange one-stringed instrument. But I'm not entirely sure if it's my string being too heavy or the fact that the bow is a very light draw weight. Again, these are our club beginner bows. We don't want to give our beginners more than 20 pounds. So if you're using a heavier draw weight, 25 or even 30 pound, then the vibration should be substantially less. Again, these limbs are very light. I don't think you'll get much dampening from these limbs, so that's something which you have to accept when using a bow with a very low draw weight. Again, this isn't necessarily a fault of the PSE Razorback, it just might be the fact that I'm using 15 and 20 pound limbs. So what do I feel overall? I think firstly the Razorback Jr is a nice junior bow. It's a nice size, it's a good weight, it's a very good fit for a junior hand or a small hand. And this is very important for the kids because even a few grams of weight will make them go, oh Mum, it's too heavy. So I think it's a good design consideration, it's a good size, length and weight for a young child. The adult bow feels nice. It took me a short while to get used to the shape of the grip. That wasn't a problem. The balance is actually not bad. You have nice control over the bow, so it's not like it's going to flop on you. So that's a very good consideration. It feels lighter. I feel that the Samick Sage is a little heavier than this one. So if looking for a lighter bow, both in weight and in color, then this is a reasonable alternative. Downsides, if you're looking for an aesthetically pleasing bow, I don't think the PSE Razorback is that kind of bow. It's a functional beginner bow that is meant to be low cost, and again, clubs love this bow because it is so easy to hand out and use. It doesn't have a lot of quality finish. You can see again, the grains, it's not a very good polish. The wood pattern is minimalistic compared to, again, you have bows like the Sage, which has that nice two-tone wood color, the dark wood and the light wood. You have bows like the Polaris, which has the red stripe pattern. So there are more decorative bows which can be more appealing to the eye and the hand. But if you just want a bow, then you don't really look for patterns. So yeah, it's alright. I think this is a perfectly functioning bow. And if you just want a bow to shoot, whether it's a backyard hobby or you just want to get into archery for the first time, I think the PSE Razorback might be a more economical choice than certain other wooden recurves. This is a safe buy. It's not a particularly luxurious buy. Again, if you want that look and feel, then you might have to expand your wallet a bit more. It might not look as good as a Samick Polaris, but in the hands of a beginner, it handles just as well. This is going to be especially true for the junior shooters. I know some parents will be looking at buying cheap fiberglass bows. I think a bow like the Razorback is a good option for junior shooters because it looks and feels like a real bow. It is fun to use and it does reward someone for trying to become better. Anyway, this is New Sensei. Hope you found it helpful. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.